Hello, everyone, and welcome to the English Orbit. If you want to improve your English through inspiring stories, engaging conversations, podcasts, daily use English sentences, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and real life speaking practice, then you are in the right place. Our goal is to make learning English simple, practical, and enjoyable for everyone. Today, we're going to improve our English through an inspiring story filled with useful vocabulary, natural sentence patterns, and valuable life lessons. So, let's begin today's lesson. Today's story is about a boy named Sam, whom everyone laughed at because he was poor and weak in studies. People believed he would never achieve anything in life. But just a few years later, the same boy built one of the biggest dairy businesses in his region and became a millionaire. His journey proves that success is not decided by school marks. It is built through hard work, patience, continuous learning, and the courage to keep moving forward even when nobody believes in you. Now, let's begin today's inspiring story. In a small town surrounded by green fields and dusty roads, lived a 16-year-old boy named Sam. His house was tiny. During the rainy season, water leaked through the roof. The walls were old, the furniture was broken, and many nights the family had to eat simple food because they could not afford anything better. Sam never complained. He knew his parents were doing everything they could. His father worked in a manufacturing plant almost 12 hours every day. The work was difficult. Every evening, he returned home covered with dust and sweat. His hands had become rough after years of lifting heavy materials. Sometimes, he was so tired that he could barely walk. Even after working so hard, his salary was only enough to buy food and pay a few bills. Sam's mother worked as a house cleaner. Before sunrise every morning, she cooked breakfast, packed lunch for Sam and his father, cleaned their small house, and then walked from one wealthy family's home to another, carrying a small cleaning bag. She washed dishes. She cleaned floors. She washed clothes. She worked until evening. Sometimes people treated her kindly. Sometimes they ignored her completely. A few people didn't even offer her a glass of water. Still, she smiled every single day because she believed that difficult times never lasted forever. She believed her son would one day build a better future. Sam loved his parents with all his heart. Every night before sleeping, he watched them quietly. He saw his father's tired face. He saw the pain hidden behind his mother's smile. He wished he could help them, but there was one problem. Sam was not good at studies. He tried hard. He attended every class. He completed his homework. He stayed awake late at night preparing for exams. But no matter how much effort he put in, his marks were always low. Many students laughed whenever the teacher announced the results. Some classmates called him slow. Others believed he would never become successful. Sam remained silent. Deep inside, those words hurt him more than anyone knew. Whenever family members gathered during weddings or festivals, Sam felt uncomfortable. He knew someone would ask the same question. How are your studies going? One afternoon, during a family gathering, everyone was sitting together after lunch. One uncle looked at Sam's report card and laughed loudly. He said Sam would never pass with good marks. Another relative smiled and said that Sam would probably spend his whole life doing small jobs, just like ordinary workers. Soon, several people started laughing. Some shook their heads. Others looked at Sam with disappointment. Sam lowered his head. He could not answer anyone. His father stayed silent because he had no words. His mother forced herself to smile so nobody would see the tears in her eyes. When they returned home that evening, Sam saw his mother sitting alone outside the house. She was quietly wiping tears from her face before anyone noticed. That moment stayed in Sam's heart forever. He walked into his small room and made a promise to himself. One day, he would give his parents a life where nobody could ever insult them again. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Life became even more difficult. One evening, Sam returned home earlier than usual. As he entered the house, he saw his father coughing badly after returning from work. His clothes were covered with dust. His hands had several fresh cuts. For the first time, Sam noticed how old and tired his father looked. A few minutes later, his mother came home. Before entering the house, she quietly removed her slippers. The slippers were completely torn. She didn't want Sam to notice because she knew they couldn't afford a new pair. But Sam saw everything. That night, he could not sleep. He kept thinking about his parents. Every day they were becoming weaker. Every day they sacrificed something for him. If he simply waited to finish school, several more years would pass. His parents needed help now. The next morning, Sam made an important decision. He would continue studying, but after school, he would start working. He didn't know where. He didn't know how much he would earn. He only knew one thing. He could no longer sit and watch his parents suffer. Near Sam's house was a small dairy that supplied fresh milk to nearby families. Every morning, Sam noticed people standing in line with milk jugs, waiting to buy milk. The owner was always busy. Workers cleaned milk containers. Some delivered milk on bicycles, others looked after the cows. Sam watched carefully for several days. Finally, one afternoon, he gathered all his courage and walked inside. The owner looked at him and smiled. He asked Sam why he had come. Sam respectfully explained that he was looking for work after school. The owner looked surprised. Sam was only 16 years old. The owner asked him whether he was sure he wanted to work because dairy work was not easy. It required waking up before sunrise, lifting heavy milk containers, cleaning barns, and working every day without excuses. Sam nodded confidently. He said he did not need a big salary. He only needed one chance to prove himself. The owner looked into Sam's eyes. He saw honesty. He saw determination. After thinking for a few moments, he finally smiled. He decided to give Sam a chance. Sam had no idea that this small opportunity would become the first step toward changing his entire life forever. Sam started working the very next day. His first morning at the dairy began before sunrise. While the rest of the town was still sleeping, Sam was already walking toward the dairy with excitement and a little nervousness in his heart. The air was cold. The roads were quiet. Only the sounds of birds and cows could be heard. As soon as he reached the dairy, the owner welcomed him with a smile and showed him around. The work was much harder than Sam had imagined. He cleaned large milk containers until they shined. He washed buckets and utensils. He swept the barn. He carried heavy containers from one place to another. He fed the cows and made sure they always had clean water. Sometimes his hands became sore. Sometimes his back hurt. Sometimes he returned home completely exhausted. But not even once did he complain. Sam believed that every difficult day was teaching him something valuable. He reached the dairy before everyone else. He was the last person to leave. Soon the owner noticed something different about Sam. Unlike the other workers, Sam never worked only with his hands. He worked with his mind. Whenever he finished one task, he observed everything happening around him. He watched how experienced workers checked the quality of milk. He learned why healthy cows produced better milk. He noticed how milk was stored to keep it fresh. He observed how customers chose one dairy over another. During lunch breaks, while others rested, Sam sat beside the owner asking questions. He wanted to know everything. Why do some dairies earn more money than others? Why do customers trust one shop but not another? How do you know if milk is pure? How do you take care of cows when they become sick? How do you grow a business? The owner was surprised. Most young workers only waited for the day to end. Sam waited for every opportunity to learn. One afternoon, the owner smiled and said that Sam asked questions like a businessman, not like a worker. Those words stayed in Sam's mind for a long time. Every day, Sam delivered milk to different neighborhoods. As he rode his old bicycle through the streets, he listened carefully to people. Many customers complained. Sometimes milk arrived late. Sometimes it was mixed with water. Sometimes the quality changed every day. Many families said they had no place where they could buy fresh and pure milk regularly. Sam never ignored these conversations. Every evening after reaching home, he opened a small notebook. Inside that notebook, He wrote every problem he had noticed during the day. Milk arrives late. Customers want pure milk. People are ready to pay more for quality. Farmers struggle to find honest buyers. Families trust businesses that never cheat. Day after day, the notebook became full of ideas. One night, while reading everything he had written, Sam stopped on an empty page. He picked up his pen and wrote one simple sentence. People may stop buying expensive clothes. People may stop buying luxury items, but people never stop buying milk. He looked at that sentence again and again. For the first time, Sam realized he had found an opportunity. Milk was not just a product. It was something every family needed every single day. That thought changed the way he looked at his future. Months passed. Sam became one of the most trusted workers at the dairy. The owner even allowed him to manage customers whenever he was busy. Sam learned how to calculate profits. He learned how to negotiate prices. He learned how to speak politely with customers, even when they were angry. Most importantly, he learned that honesty always brought customers back. One evening, after finishing work, Sam sat outside his house with his parents. The sky was filled with orange and pink colors as the sun slowly disappeared behind the fields. Sam took a deep breath. He finally shared the dream he had been carrying inside his heart. He wanted to start his own dairy business one day. His parents looked at each other quietly. His father smiled, but there was sadness in his eyes. He explained that they barely had enough money to survive. Starting a business seemed impossible. Sam nodded. He understood. But he also knew that impossible dreams only remained impossible if nobody tried. That night, nobody slept peacefully. Sam kept thinking about his dream. His parents kept thinking about their son. The next morning, something happened that Sam would never forget. His mother opened a small wooden box that she had carefully protected for many years. Inside was a simple gold ring. It was the only piece of jewelry she had received on her wedding day. She looked at it for a few moments, then she smiled. She handed it to Sam's father. Together they decided to sell it. It was not an easy decision. It was a memory of one of the happiest days of their lives, but they believed their son's future was more valuable than any piece of gold. They also borrowed a small loan from a local lender. After collecting every dollar they could, the family finally had enough money to buy one healthy cow. When Sam saw the beautiful white cow standing in front of their house, tears filled his eyes. He gently placed his hand on her head. He named her Bella. To everyone else, Bella was just one cow. To Sam, she was hope. She was the beginning of a new life. He promised himself that he would take care of her with all his heart. Little did Sam know that this single cow would one day become the foundation of a business that would change not only his family's future, but also the lives of thousands of other families. Sam's life changed completely after Bella became part of the family. Every morning, his alarm rang at 4 o'clock. Before the first rays of sunlight touched the town, Sam was already awake. He cleaned the barn carefully. He gave Bella fresh grass and clean water. He checked her health every day because he knew that healthy cows produced healthy milk. After milking Bella, Sam filled clean milk jugs and tied them securely to his old bicycle. Then he started delivering milk across the town. Many people were surprised to see such a young boy working so hard before school. Some smiled and encouraged him. Others laughed. A few people whispered that one cow could never build a successful business. Sam never argued with anyone. He simply smiled and continued his work. His only answer was hard work. The first few weeks were difficult. Some days he sold every drop of milk. Other days, he returned home with unsold milk. Instead of feeling disappointed, Sam asked every customer the same question: how can I make my service better? Their answers became his greatest teachers. Some wanted earlier delivery. Some wanted cleaner bottles. Some wanted milk delivered every single day without fail. Sam wrote every suggestion in his notebook. The next morning, he improved one small thing, then another. then another. Slowly, people began noticing the difference. Sam never mixed water with milk. He never lied about quality. If one day he had less milk, he honestly informed his customers instead of cheating them. Trust began spreading faster than advertisements. Customers started recommending Sam to their friends and neighbors. Within a few months, every drop of milk was sold before sunrise. His income was still small, but something much more valuable was growing: his reputation. One afternoon, an elderly customer stopped Sam before he left. She smiled and said that your milk reminds me of the milk we used to drink many years ago. It is pure. Never change. Those simple words gave Sam more happiness than earning extra money. Soon, local cafes and sweet shops also started buying milk from Sam because they knew his quality never changed. For the first time, Sam felt that his dream was slowly becoming real. Every evening, he carefully counted the money. He separated one part for household expenses, one part for the loan, and another part for savings. He refused to waste even a single dollar. Whenever he earned a little extra, he bought better feed for Bella instead of buying new clothes for himself. He believed that investing in quality always gave bigger returns. Months passed. The business continued growing. Then one morning, everything changed. Sam entered the barn and immediately noticed something was wrong. Bella was not eating. She looked weak. She could barely stand. Sam rushed to call the local veterinarian. After examining Bella, the doctor explained that she had become seriously ill. For the next several days, milk production almost stopped. Sam's income dropped sharply, but his expenses remained the same. The loan payments were waiting. Customers expected milk every morning. His parents looked worried again. Sam spent every possible moment taking care of Bella. He barely slept. He prayed every day that she would recover. Some customers understood the situation. Others found different suppliers. Slowly, Sam watched the business he had worked so hard to build begin slipping away. As if that was not enough, the relatives who had once laughed at him returned with their opinions. They said they had warned him from the beginning. They believed business was only for rich people. They said poor families should never dream too big. Every word hurt Sam deeply. One evening, he sat outside his small house looking at the stars. For the first time since starting his business, he wondered if everyone had been right. Maybe he had dreamed too much. Maybe he should give up. A few minutes later, his father quietly came and sat beside him. Neither of them spoke for several minutes. Finally, his father placed a hand on Sam's shoulder. He told Sam that life would always test people who dared to dream. Money could be lost. Animals could become sick. Business could face problems. But courage should never be lost. A person who keeps moving forward always finds another path. Those words gave Sam new hope. That night, he opened his notebook again. He turned every page, filled with ideas, observations, and customer problems. Then he noticed something he had almost forgotten. Many farmers in nearby farming communities had healthy cows, but struggled to sell their milk every day. Some were forced to sell it at very low prices. Others watched fresh milk go to waste because they had no buyers. Suddenly, Sam realized something important. Maybe success was never about owning hundreds of cows. Maybe success was about connecting farmers with customers honestly. A completely new idea began forming in his mind. The next morning, Sam packed his notebook, got on his bicycle, and started visiting nearby farming communities. He had no idea that this decision would become the biggest turning point of his entire life. The next morning, Sam left home before sunrise with nothing but his old bicycle, a notebook, and a dream that nobody else could see. He rode from one town to another, meeting small dairy farmers. Many of them welcomed him warmly. Some listened carefully. Others laughed at him because he was still just a teenager. Sam never became angry. He patiently explained his idea to every farmer. He told them that he wanted to buy their milk every morning at a fair price. He promised that he would never cheat them. He would pay on time. He would treat every farmer with respect. At first, nobody trusted him. After all, he was only 16 years old. Why would anyone believe such a young boy? One elderly farmer looked at Sam for a few moments and finally said that trust is not built with words. It is built with actions. Sam smiled. He agreed completely. The next day he returned with the money he had promised. He bought milk from that farmer exactly as they had agreed. He paid every dollar honestly. The farmer was surprised. Within a few days, he told other farmers about Sam. Slowly, one farmer became 3. 3 became 7. 7 became 15. Soon, Sam was collecting milk from many nearby farming communities every single morning. Now he had enough milk to supply families, restaurants, cafes, sweet shops, and small grocery stores. Business started growing faster than ever before, but Sam refused to lower his standards. Every drop of milk was carefully checked before delivery. If the quality was poor, he rejected it politely. Some people told him he was losing money by being so strict. Sam simply smiled. He believed that losing money was better than losing trust. His customers noticed the difference. They knew Sam's milk was always fresh, it was always pure, and it always arrived on time. More and more people started recommending his dairy to friends and relatives. Soon, Sam could no longer manage everything alone. He hired his first employee. It was a young man from a poor family who had been searching for work for many months. Sam remembered how someone had once given him a chance. Now it was his turn to help someone else. As business continued to grow, Sam bought another cow, then another. Within a year, 1 cow had become 5. 5 became 15. 15 became 40. The small shed behind his house slowly turned into a proper dairy farm. Sam also learned something very important. Selling only milk was limiting his business. He started thinking about products that every family used every day. He met experienced people. He read books. He watched videos whenever he found free time. He learned how milk could become many valuable products. Soon his dairy started producing fresh yogurt, then cheese, then butter, then pure clarified butter. Later, delicious sweets made from fresh milk were added to the business. Customers loved the quality. Shop owners no longer waited for Sam to visit them. Instead, they called Sam themselves. Every day new orders arrived. Sam finally decided it was time to give his business a name. He wanted people to remember it. He wanted it to stand for honesty, quality, and trust. A simple logo was designed. The packaging looked clean and professional. For the first time, customers started recognizing Sam's brand instead of simply buying milk. Months passed. The business expanded into nearby towns. Delivery vehicles replaced bicycles. Small storage rooms became large warehouses. More farmers joined Sam every month because they knew they would always receive fair prices. Many of those farmers had once struggled to feed their families. Now they finally had stable incomes. Sam often smiled when he looked around. Years earlier, he had started with only 1 cow. Now hundreds of families were earning because of the dream of one young boy. As the company continued growing, banks that had once refused to help Sam now offered him business loans. Business magazines started writing about his success. Local newspapers called him one of the youngest entrepreneurs in the region. People who had never believed in him suddenly wanted to meet him. Some even claimed they had always known he would become successful. Sam never allowed success to change his behavior. He still greeted everyone politely. He still visited farmers personally. He still checked milk quality himself whenever he had time. He believed that the day a businessman stopped learning was the day his business stopped growing. 5 years passed. Sam was now 21 years old. The young boy who had once been laughed at for poor marks had become the owner of one of the fastest growing dairy businesses in the region. His company supplied fresh dairy products to thousands of families every day. His annual income had crossed millions, but the thing that made Sam happiest was not the money. It was what that money allowed him to do. One evening, he drove his parents to a beautiful new house. His mother looked around in complete surprise. She could hardly believe her eyes. She asked whose house it was. Sam smiled with tears of happiness. He told her that it was their home. His mother covered her face and began crying. His father stood silently, unable to speak. For several minutes, nobody said a single word. Sometimes happiness is too big for words. The next morning, Sam took his father to the manufacturing plant for one final time. His father walked inside, carrying his resignation letter. After working there for more than 30 years, he finally walked out as a free man. No more 12-hour shifts. No more heavy machines. No more exhausted evenings. When he came outside, Sam hugged him tightly. For the first time in many years, his father smiled without worry. Later that same day, Sam handed his mother a small gift. Inside the box was a brand new pair of comfortable slippers. His mother looked at them and remembered the old torn slippers she had once tried to hide from her son. She hugged Sam with tears in her eyes. Sam gently smiled and told her that she would never have to clean anyone else's house again. Months later, another family wedding was held. The same relatives who had once laughed at Sam were waiting to welcome him. Everyone wanted to shake his hand. Everyone wanted photographs with him. The uncle who had once mocked Sam quietly walked toward him. With shame in his eyes, he apologized for the words he had spoken years earlier. Sam smiled politely. He told him there was nothing to apologize for. Then Sam looked around the room and spoke from his heart. He said that no child should ever be judged only by school marks. Every person has a different talent. Some succeed in studies. Some succeed in business. Some become artists. Some become scientists. What matters most is honesty, hard work, and the willingness to keep learning every single day. The entire hall became silent. Many people lowered their heads. That day, everyone learned a lesson they would never forget. Even after becoming a millionaire, Sam never forgot where he came from. Every Sunday, he donated fresh milk to poor children. He supported small farmers by paying them fair prices. He helped students continue their education. He created jobs for hundreds of families. People no longer remembered Sam as the weak student. They remembered him as the boy who refused to give up, and that became his greatest success. Friends, never laugh at someone because they are poor. Never think that marks alone decide a person's future. Knowledge is important. Education is valuable, but courage, discipline, honesty, and continuous learning can completely change a person's life. The person who is struggling today may become tomorrow's biggest inspiration. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, subscribe to the English Orbit. Here, every story helps you improve your English while teaching powerful life lessons. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next inspiring story.